If the first game breaks, we'll get you know let us put on more steam. Protect our kickers, our quarterback, our lead, our ball game. All obstacles, block, cut, sides, through the games after this win in. First year again, we're here for the first May. Can everybody keep it up 6 minutes?
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
Unbelievable place. Great university. Knoxville's unbelievable city. Great people. The passion for football is even greater than I thought it would be. And man, Neyland Stadium, I said it, a couple of years ago, and I still think it's the best football experience for a college football fan or a player in the country.
Like I said, we play with a chip on our shoulder at Tennessee. So, we get a lot of disrespect. So we want to make it clear that we're going to come out and dominate day in and day out.
99% of the people in this world want to be great. Would you agree with that? Yeah, they're called wannabes. 1% work to be great. Drop the mic on that.
We've got to raise the bar, and we've got to continue to raise the bar. I don't think any of those young men, when they signed to come to Tennessee, they signed to say they wanted to come and be a part of a 7-6 program. All right, they said they wanted to come and compete for championships, SEC championships, national championships. I know that's what I want. I know that's what Tennessee wants. I know that's what the expectation is. So we've got to continue to reassess everything that we're doing and make sure that we're continuing to move the needle in the right direction.
I was driving down the highway on an August Friday night. Everything was going great, I was feeling fine, till I looked into my rear view. Caught me by surprise, it was Barney and his partner. They're flashing their blue lights. Now I'm sitting in the pen, and I'm staring at the floor. They done took my freedom, I can't walk around no more. And I said goodbye to the honky-tonks and my social good time, all because I blew a .09. Well, the cop turned me around, he said, I'm taking you to jail. Do you have someone in mind that can come pay your bill? I said, no sir, most of my friends are pretty damn broke. Then he slapped those cuffs up on me and Barney slammed the door. Now I'm sitting in the pen and I'm staring at the floor. They done took my freedom, I can't walk around no more. And I said goodbye to the honky-tonks, my social good time, all because I blew a .09.
Good Friday morning and welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. Nothing like a little Elijah Allen Cole to get us going on this beautiful Friday morning in East Tennessee. My name is Boogie Bentley.
And I'm Coach Jay.
Ready to talk some Tennessee football, man. It's homecoming weekend. The whole week, nobody's talking about football. Nobody's talked about football all week long. They're talking about the future. They're talking about expectations. They're talking about Nico. They're talking about Nico. We're going to talk about Nico. Don't you worry about that. We're going to talk about all kinds of fun stuff on this Friday morning edition of Talkin VAWLS Live. Let's see who's in the chat. James Bowers was here bright and early. This was at 8:30. Says, good morning, Boogie and Jay. Let's go out and take care of business. Let the young guys have their time. Vols by Fitty. Corbin Hughes was here. Rocky Top Tom was in the house bright and early. Fish and Beans is here. Matt Dumit is here as well. Papa J says, are they going to sell refreshments at the scrimmage? You know, it's a 12 o'clock game. I think it's my first time inside a Neyland Stadium where they sell beer. I've got to drink an overpriced beer. I just have to take that experience in. Been 2016 last time I was in that stadium, so I'm looking forward to it. Saturdays, We Volunteer is here. Robbie S. in the house. Bob is here. What's up, Bob? Good morning. Dylan Elam kicking things off, man. Dropping an Orange Boy bright and early. I love it. Let's let Pat McAfee wake us up this Friday morning.
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
Dylan for $20 says door fee and a little extra. Have fun with the family boogie. Take family over business every time. GBO. I appreciate that, Dylan. And I am, man. I'm excited. I wouldn't agree every time. You know, sometimes you got to make a little money around here, but I think it's okay to skip homecoming, skip the Connecticut game. It's going to cost me a little bit of money. It's going to be worth every second, man. I'm excited. Coach, I asked him Wednesday night because it's been a minute since I've been to Neyland Stadium. And you got to realize, too, man, I was down there so often, season tickets multiple times. I had seen it all. I'd experienced it all. If you've seen the Vol Navy 75 times, that's probably good enough. I've seen the Vol Walk more times than you can count. I've seen all. The only thing that I never missed was running through the tee. I always made sure I was in the stadium for that. It's been a minute, and now I've got to try to rewind time and think, what is the most important things? Obviously, the Vol Walk. What do you think I should take my daughter to experience on Saturday?
I mean, definitely the Vol Walk, but just to me, it's just the whole campus becomes magical on game day, right? It's just the vibe in the whole air, and yeah, you nailed it. The Vol Walk is special, man. Are they doing a flyover in the morning too?
I don't know.
Right during the anthem, man. When they do that, it's just like I said. When I came out for the South Carolina game, I had some real USC fans with me. And, man, they were tearing up during that flyover with the anthem going on and breaking the tee. And that's just a magical moment. Yeah, so don't miss that. But just the vibe around campus, man, mingling with the people. Just everything about it special, as you know, Boogie.
I may put up the bat signal. I may just put out a tweet and say, hey, where is Boogie is going to be going all weekend long. I already started it today. It's going to be carrying on into tonight, going to see Boo Carter and Marcus Gorey. I'm going to continue that hashtag, give you guys little teases of where I'm at. Maybe I put a tweet out, just say, hey, where are you guys tailgating? And I will randomly drop into a Talkin VAWLS tailgate and say, what's up, boys? Give me a cold beer. Give us something to eat. Who knows, man? I don't know. I'm just excited. Like you said, just the atmosphere, the vibes, being back on campus. Crystal for 2. What's up, Crystal? Says, I can't wait to be in Knoxville in the morning. The only bad thing is it's going to be freezing. It's going to be 35 degrees at the time of the Vol Walk, and then it's going to be up to like 60, 65 at kickoff. It's like, am I supposed to bring 2 different wardrobes to change and try to get comfortable for kickoff?
I don't know, man. That's non-California people problems to me.
Yeah.
Because I wake up and it's like 65 in the morning. I'm like, dang it, it's cold out.
Hey, wait a sec. You're not going to strip that shirt off and have like some
No, don't worry. I'm not trolling you today.
Okay, just making sure. Just making sure. Got another super chat from Rocky Top Tom. Drops a $5 door fee. Appreciate that, brother. I'm seeing a lot of people are either going to their first game or taking someone special to their first game this week. Enjoy it thoroughly. You know, that's what happens when you see some of these games. Tennessee favored by 35. It's homecoming. Typically, that's when, you know, it's family day. Like me and Snake, when we had season tickets, man, we didn't care if they were playing UConn, ETSU. It didn't matter. We were going in there to make some noise, drink some frosty beverages, and get hostile. It's family day. We would call it family day at Neyland Stadium, and that's a good thing, man. Me and Dauber all the time talk about how it's not necessarily the football, it's who you take it in with, man. It's who you take it in with. So I'm looking forward to it. My daughter's excited. We're excited. Let's talk. Well, you know, we'll do like everybody else. Let's talk about just Heupel year 3. Year 3 under Josh Heupel. I rewind to when he was hired. We were at rock bottom. Everybody's saying 5, 6, 7-year rebuild, right? 6 wins heading into November. This is the stat everybody's throwing around. 6 wins heading into November for just the second time since Philip Fulmer was the coach at Tennessee. Who was the first? Oh, that was Josh Heupel last year. Josh Heupel, back-to-back seasons, has done what Lane Kiffin couldn't do, Derek Dooley couldn't do, Butch Jones couldn't do, Jeremy Pruitt couldn't do. Those coaches, all those coaches between Fulmer and Heupel were combined 10 and 35 in October. Heupel is 8-3, bowl eligible for the 3rd straight year. I mean, Heupel's been here 3 years. We said 6, 7-year rebuild. He's like, no, I'm just going to go to bowl games every year. We're already spoiled. We don't even look, are we bowl eligible? That's not even a conversation. 3 straight seasons, first time since 2014 through 2016. Take us back, Coach Jay. Where were you at when Josh Heupel was hired? What were your thoughts? Did you immediately have to go to Google and start researching versus now that we sit in year 3?
No, I knew who he was. I was aware of his coaching tree. You know, I immediately had concerns of a defense. I'm a defensive-minded coach, right? So the first thing I thought of was defense and who he would be bringing along with him to be the defensive coordinator. I from the get-go thought he would bring our offense to a much better place. I don't know if I necessarily believed he could do it as quickly as he did it, and I've said it before on this channel. What Coach Hype has accomplished here in such a short amount of time is nothing short of a miracle, right? It's astonishing what he's done, the culture he's built, like you said, we expected to be bowl eligible this time of year in November. We are spoiled by this team. We are upset. You've got Coach Jay throwing stuff when Joe Milton makes one mistake because he's demanding perfection, because that's what he's been seeing on the field. That's a good problem to have, not a bad problem to have, right? But to be completely blind and not recognize what he has accomplished, what he's done, where this team is, would be foolhardy of myself or any other Tennessee fan who is kind of quick to judge. And I know we pour our heart and soul into this team, and we can have knee-jerk reactions, and it's fire Banks, fire Halsey, fire whoever you're mad at on that specific play. But this coaching staff has always done less with more. Other coaching staffs here have had talent, right? Other coaching staffs here have had a lot of talent, especially Butch over the years. I think everyone in this chat, every Vols fan that there is, would tell you really quickly that those Butch Jones talented teams would have been much better under Josh Heupel. They just would have been. They would have been better coached. They would have had better uniformity. They would have just been better altogether. So, man, I'm excited about what he's done. It's why, even though I've had disagreements with him at times this year, I will defer to what he is doing, because I believe in Coach Hype and what he's doing at the University of Tennessee.
But we all, everybody that comes on this channel and gives an opinion, you take some flack, you take feedback, criticism, whatever the case may be. Anytime you question anything, right? Oh, you're a negavol, you're this, you're that. Man, if we didn't question decisions, what fun would college football be? Obviously, Heupel gets paid millions of dollars because he knows way more about football than we know. He is the head coach. I love the comments of, oh, you think you're a Monday morning coach. No, I'm a Saturday evening coach. I'm a Sunday morning coach. I'm a Monday morning coach. I'm a Tuesday night coach. I'm a Wednesday. I'm a Tennessee fan. I get on here and talk about it. So it's okay to criticize and question, like the 4th and 1 calls. Like, if you don't question that, what fun is college football if you don't get to question it? But at the end of the day, man, every single one of us loves Josh Heupel. We want Josh Heupel to succeed. Let me hit a couple of super chats real quick. Timmy Williams for 5. Appreciate that. What's up? Go Vols. It feels like football weather. Yes, it does. I wish it would just feel like football weather and not crank up to about 60 degrees, 65 degrees on Saturday. But I'm looking forward to it, man. We'll figure out a way to stay comfortable. Maybe a little whiskey, somebody said earlier. Vol fan in the Air Force. That's what we decided the other night. That's a $20 super chat. That's an Orange Boy. We'll play the clip.
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
Ball fan in Air Force says, Dorfy, and might see you at the Bradley Central game or around G10 tomorrow. Have fun with the family, GBO. Cool, man. Like, yeah, if you see me at the Bradley Central game, come up, say, hey, you guys want to take a picture? We'll take a picture and hang out. But also, if you're at G10, anybody on the top, I may just go strolling through G10 looking for a frosty beverage. Y'all just yell at me and say, hey, Boogie, come have a drink. We'll see, because I don't know what you guys look like. I don't know who I'm looking for. So you guys are going to have to stop me. But, yeah, hopefully we can catch up and say hello, whether that be tonight or tomorrow. Should be a good time. Let's continue this conversation about Josh Heupel in year 3. Coach Jay's down there in the bunker getting defensive game plans together, but hopefully his internet will hang in there. So we're 6-2, 8 games into this thing. Got some winnable games on the back half. Give me your MVPs through 8 games. Give me one on offense, one on defense. We'll start with that.
I mean, it's hard to not go into anyone but James Pierce on defense. He's just been dominant. He's changed the game from the pass rush side. But, I'm actually going to go someone different than Pierce. I'm going to just slide inside just a little bit and go to Tyler Barron so far on the defense. I mean, the guy has been drawing double teams for most parts of the year. And when that stopped working, everyone just started choke slamming him. So it's unfortunate that those haven't been called. But the kid the man, has been virtually unblockable this season. So I'm going to go ahead and go with Tyler Barron, but I think you could kind of take this defense line as a whole. On offense, I think I'm going to go with Mays. I know he didn't play the first part of the game, but I think he stabilized this offense when he did come back. It cured a lot of our pre-snap issues, not all of them, but a lot of them. And it certainly set the tone for the whole offensive line. And I think starting the South Carolina game, you could really see a difference and a change in this offensive line and how they were moving the football on the ground.
I'm going Jalen Wright. I mean, you Cooper Mays is a good man. That's a good answer. That is a good pick. But I'm going with Jalen Wright. You know, a lot of people, are talking Dylan Sampson going into this season, how he's the best running back. And, I kept saying that I felt like Jalen Wright was going to have a breakout year, which was kind of stupid because he led this team in rushing a year ago. So then I kind of started to change my tone that he was going to have a 1,000-yard season. Tennessee finally going to have a 1,000-yard back again. Right now he's at 713 yards. What does he need? A little like 70 yards a game, something like that to end up. Yeah, I think he's gonna get it. And you got to realize Connecticut and Vanderbilt both on the schedule. So how many yards does he get before he's on the bench on Saturday? Same thing for Vanderbilt. I think he's definitely on pace. I think he's looking at a 1,000-yard season. Man, defensively. Oh man! I want to give a weird answer, almost like you did. You're taking Cooper Mays, and then Cooper didn't really play the first few games of the season. I'm going to go with a weird answer, and it's a weird answer because I think that what coulda, shoulda, woulda. Keenan Peely. Peely is the guy that I feel like this defense was so good when you had Keenan Peely and Aaron Beasley out there side by side. So let me say my real defensive MVP is James Pierce. My strange, weird, crazy answer that's going to set up the next conversation piece is Keenan Peely because I think, man, they were so good out there side by side, and you had two guys, right? You had two coaches out there. And I think one of the things Elijah Herring said within the last couple of weeks was talking about how great Aaron Beasley was and that he always knew where you needed to be. Not only did he know his assignment, he knew your assignment. He's always out there leading, coaching. Interesting thing about Keenan Peely, I was listening to VolQuest, and they said he's on pace to be cleared when he should be cleared, but can he get up to speed? And similar to Cooper Mays, right? Cooper Mays was cleared. Cooper Mays could go play, but was he comfortable? Was he in football shape? Keenan Peely has not been on the football field in 2 months at this point?
Yeah.
So, interesting thing, they were talking 2024. Who are your starting linebackers in 2024? And AP gave an interesting feedback of Keenan Peely side by side with Arian Carter. Is that a possibility? He would have to get a waiver. He would have to get a medical red shirt. I think it's possible. And the way that was worded makes me think that if Keenan Peely can't get back on the field this year, he wants to come back for another year. What's he going to be, 37 years old at this point?
Yeah.
That excites me, man, about if Keenan Peely comes back and plays next season.
Yeah, he would definitely, stabilize this defense in the linebacking unit if he did come back, and I think every Vol fan would be super excited about that. Him being injured is one of those things where it kind of turned out to be a blessing in disguise because, we lose Beasley this year, and a lot of those young linebackers have been able to get acclimated, and they've needed to get acclimated. As you have seen, I've kind of compared it to freshman running backs having to learn how to, pick up pass blocking their first year, and that usually keeps them out. Well, what keeps out freshman linebackers is usually how they're settling in their zone coverage. They're either too shallow or too deep, or they're getting fooled when offensive coordinators are putting young defensive linebackers in conflict where they have to keep their eyes in multiple places and remain very disciplined. Those are things that you've seen our younger linebackers, whether it be Perry, T-Lander, Arian Carter, have needed to kind of start to learn and pick up. But to be able to put someone like Keenan Peely next to any of those kids or in the rotation is just going to add that much more stability and that much more just good old-fashioned know-how to that linebacker unit. So if we could get them back for another year, I would be all for it, but either way, I think the playing time for the young linebackers is going to pay dividends.
Got 170 people watching on this Friday morning. Guys, do us a favor. Make sure you do smash the thumbs up. Share out the link, all that good stuff. Help us grow this community of Talkin VAWLS cult members. That's what we're trying to build is cult members. And, man, we're right around the corner from 25,000 subscribers. My goal was to hit that before the end of the year, so we'll see if we can make that happen. But we need your help. Help us out by sharing it out, man. When you see me tweet out a video, if you're on Twitter, if you're on Facebook, you see us post that we've got a new video, a live stream, man, just hit that like button on the post. Hit that share button because it's all a numbers game. It's all analytics, and we would appreciate that help. Somebody in the chat earlier said, for all you guys, wear your Talkin VAWLS merch on Saturday to the game. That way I know who I'm looking for. That'd be cool. If I see some Talkin VAWLS merch, I may yell at you before you can yell at me. We'll see. That'd be awesome, man. Love to see you guys repping some Talkin VAWLS merch on Saturday. Let's continue kind of talking about this year 3 overall picture. Anything that surprises you? Success, lack of success, offensively, defensively, position group, specific player, anything that surprises you as to what you expected going into this thing?
Surprises me? No, shoot, man, Boogie. We kind of said 9-3 from the beginning that the defense would take a step. I think from the overarching picture, yeah, but I think everyone's going to go back to just that maturation of the run game. I mean, we always knew that Heupel's offense was really predicated on the run, and it kind of lulled people to sleep that way in the last 2 years. He's got a really good pass-run balance, but just the leaps and bounds that this offense has made in the run game is crazy to think of. And if that's something we can move forward into next year, and we can put the passing attack from the last 2 years and mold that with the running game that we've found this year. You always asked in the offseason, can this offense get better? And I've always said, yeah, this offense can get better. And that's a way it can get better. If you take this running attack and put it with last year's passing attack numbers, you're going to have one of the most explosive offenses to ever step foot on a college field anywhere. So I'm super excited for that and think it can take us really, really far. As far as the defense goes, I think they've just taken steps everywhere. I think Haddon ended up better than everyone thought. I think that was kind of a surprise before we lost him. But with that said, the defense has been really good. And if we can have some sophomore redshirt freshman DBs come in, show out next year, we'll have something special on defense as well.
COVID makes everything interesting for next year too. You just you have no idea. Like we've talked about all week, because what are we going to talk about? Connecticut all week long about what offensive lineman could possibly return. And gosh, man, my excitement for next year would be even higher than it is if you knew, Cooper Mays was coming back, John Campbell was coming back, any of those, main 5 guys. Man, defensively, you look at what, when Tim Banks took over year 1, 29.1 points per game. That was 90th in the country. They took that huge jump last year to 22.8. That's 36th in the country. Taking a little small step again, 20.4, 32nd in the country. I forget who it was, somebody on here, we were talking about it, and it's like with Josh Heupel's offense, the way they score points, I think a top 25 defense. If your scoring defense is top 25, I think Josh Heupel's going to be able to score enough points. Even seeing, this year, averaging 31.8 points a game, they've not scored 50. They have not scored 50 this entire season. It's just a different style of football. And like you said, man, if you compare that electric offense with a solid defense, this team's going to be hard to beat. And, one thing that I do worry about going into next year, obviously offensive line, like we just touched on, I could be either really excited about it or really concerned about it. I don't know which one. But also the wide receivers. The wide receivers have been kind of underwhelming this year. I thought it was going to be plug and play. Look, no disrespect to Jalen Hyatt. That dude was something special. But I thought you were going to be able to plug and play, and this offense was going to continue to be explosive. Squirrel White, really the only guy, 44 catches, leading the team in catches, leading the team in receiving yards. Brew McCoy, man, he does so many things that don't really pop on tape, right? He's not going to make the big flashy catches. He's not going to be the guy that they hit in the deep threats. It's the blocking in the run game. It's the, hey, I need 4 yards. Let's run Brew on a slant, and he's going to catch it. He's going to go over the middle, play big boy football. Some of these young receivers, it's encouraging seeing Caleb Webb, Chaz Nimrod start to come along. But we obviously got a quarterback that's going to be able to sling the rock. I think the running back room is going to be maybe better next year than it is this year? Possibly. I don't know. Does Jabari Small come back? Dylan Sampson, I think, is going to be the main dude next year. How good does Cam Seldon get? What do you think about the wide receiver room? Do you think they go to the portal as they always seem to do?
I think you go get one guy from the portal. We'll see where Brew's at. I know you mentioned everyone's talking about him, and yeah, if Brew is good and he comes back, then yeah, he can add some stability. But I think especially if he doesn't come back, then you go into the portal and kind of get that stabilizing, elder classman who's been there, done that, just to kind of sprinkle into your rotations. But I also think there's a ton of talent in this wide receiver room, and I think we're starting to maybe see what Thornton can. Yeah, perfect timing, Wes Marshall, perfect timing. I think we're starting to see what Thornton can do when put kind of in his more natural position. So I think we're going to see the dividends paid from that. And like you said, Nimrod, Caleb Webb, they're going to be great. I think Nathan Laycock is someone who came on in recruiting really late. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he either played a different position in high school or came to football late. One of the two. My facts are getting a little crossed there, but either way, if you came late to the wide receiver position, it's going to take him a little bit of extra time to kind of go through that maturation process. But Laycock's got all the physical tools in the book. He's got size, speed, athleticism. He's got good hands, and he'll be a special one here as well. So I'm not so much worried about the wide receiver room. Has it been a little bit of a disappointment? I think the drops have been a disappointment early in the year, but I think that's something that this wide receiver room has the talent. I think it's a matter of regaining that focus. We know the wide receivers didn't get a lot of run in the spring and in practice, and they weren't working them a lot in live scrimmages. Just like tackling, you've got to play wide receiver in practice at full speed. Otherwise, it's just different, and I think that's hurt this team, and that's why we've been a little late to get those good diamond patterns and get our mitts around the ball a little bit better in catching.
You think, too? We look at the wide receiver. Squirrel, happy with what he's done. Brew McCoy, I was happy with what he had done until he went down injured. Ramel Keaton is the guy, man. He's the guy that's been underwhelming, and I hate to say it. I hate calling people out by name, because Ramel Keaton making that catch last year against Florida. What a freaking catch, man! What a play! And then you're like, okay, can he be that dude? Can he go prove everybody wrong and get to the league? And he's just been underwhelming, man. It is what it is. I'm sorry, that's the end of the story. The question is, can the young guys, right? Can the young guys, are Caleb Webb and Chaz Nimrod that we've seen make some plays this year, are they ready to be that dude next year? And of course, Dante, you kind of get encouraged and excited again. What can Dante? We're going to be having the same conversation this offseason. How good is Dante Thornton? Oh, he's going to be a baller. He's going to be a gamer. We saw those little glimmers of hope. And then does Brew McCoy come back, or does he not? What happens there? But if not, can those young wide receivers, are they ready to be that dude? Because ideally, that's what you want, man. Like Nathan Laycock I don't think he's even taken a snap this year. Has he? Has he even?
I don't believe so.
And I'm sure the plan is to redshirt him. Is he a guy that we see on Saturday if it's a blowout? I would love to see Nathan Laycock get some live action, man, because it was such a fun story to watch, right? All the hype and the buzz around Carnell Tate, and then Nathan Laycock just puts his head down, goes to work. By the end of his senior season, he's graded out higher than Carnell Tate is. So Mike Matthews coming in as a true freshman. Is he a guy that's going to sit in red shirt, or is he a guy that's going to come in and it's like, okay, wow, this is the difference between a 4-star and an elite 5-star. We'll see what happens at that wide receiver position. But let's talk a little bit about the young guys, the young guns on this football team. Tennessee favored by 35 on Saturday. ESPN FBI has Tennessee at 97.7% chance of winning this football game. UConn is 1-7. And some of the people in the media that don't want to get mad when you call it a glorified scrimmage, people on Facebook, most of them are around 70 years old, start yelling and screaming at me and telling me that I have no idea what I'm talking about, and you got to take every game serious. Every game matters. I told them I'm going to turn my computer off and go focus and start breaking down film and get ready for Connecticut on Saturday. It's a glorified freaking scrimmage. And yes, so was Austin Peay. So was Austin Peay. Tennessee just didn't show up to the scrimmage. It is what it is. It was still a scrimmage. Tennessee has had very limited opportunities to get some of these young guys into the game. They should have those opportunities on Saturday, tomorrow afternoon. Leave Nico out of this. We'll talk Nico last. What young players do you want to see get some legitimate run on Saturday?
I want to see some of these young offensive linemen get some run. I think you touched on it, with how are we going to feel about the offensive line. I wouldn't mind seeing, Vice and Lang maybe get a snap or two at center, even if it's late in the game. I'd love to see that. I'd love to see Addison Nickel get a lot of work at left guard. We need to find out what we have with Addison there. Even Shamrod Umarov, I'd like to see get some run in there. Maybe even the big tackle we got that came in a little heavy from junior college. I think it's Campbell, the big, huge offensive tackle. I know he's been making some strides in his footwork, and that's what's been behind with the speed. But that kid is a monster, so it'll be interesting to see if maybe he can take a step in the offseason. So it'd be good to get him a little bit of a run as well. But really along that offensive line, I'd like to see it. Of course, we're going to see more David Hobbs, of course. The more time we get him, the better. And all those young defensive guys, man. T. Lander, Ricky Gibson, Christian Conyer, Matthews. I want to see all those guys. I know everyone's biting, chomping at the bit to see Cam Seldon. How special is our running back room now, and how special is it going to be? You touched on it, I think. Yeah, Larry Johnson. There you go, Nelson. Thanks for picking me up, Vol fam.
The grandmama.
Yeah. Grandmama. But and man, Nelson on fire. Jack Luttrell. Just all these young, young guns. We need to see them. We need to start letting them feel the grass in Neyland Stadium, let them hear the crowd, let them know what it's like, so they don't come out, like a deer in headlights when we open up next year.
I think Volquest said Ricky Gibson is going through concussion protocol, so you will probably see more Jordan Matthews than Ricky Gibson. But again, I'm excited to see Jordan Matthews, right? I mean, he's a guy that probably was more hyped up than Ricky Gibson was when they committed to this football team. So I'm with you, man, on all those guys. I want to see Ethan Davis, too, at tight end. Like, how great did he look in that orange and white game, and kind of just been irrelevant since then. A lot of people thought, it's been obviously Jacob Warren. This is his football team. Jacob Warren, McAllen Castles, and that's kind of been it at the tight end position. But we'll get into Nico here in just a second. I lost my train of thought. There was another question I was going to ask you. Let's just go into the Nico conversation, and we'll see if my stupid brain brings me back to where I wanted to go. Did you watch Locked On Vols Thursday? I love putting you on the spot. Did you watch my show that I was on?
Yeah, I watched the show. I had to watch the show. I needed to see if
a shot at you.
Kaner was accusing me of grasping at straws and stuff like that.
Dude, that was the Monday morning show. It's like, dude, he started saying that. I'm like, he's lecturing Coach Jay, and I don't even know if he knows that he's lecturing Coach Jay right now. The Lazy Llamas for 20. That's an Orange Boy. We'll play the clip.
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
Lazy Llama says, morning, fellas. Saw someone ask why Thornton would be more comfortable outside than the slot. Is it just less traffic, more one-on-one? Also, I'm excited about Nico, but what would you say is the area he could use some work? Wait. Okay, so two-part question. Why would Thornton be more comfortable on the outside? Let me give you the dumb, stupid fan answer. That's where he played at Oregon. He played on the outside at Oregon. Our hopes, or my hopes and dreams, were that he was going to come here and fill that slot, because that's where I feel like in this offense, Heupel's dialing up the most success at that slot position, and I thought you could use his size, length, and speed to take advantage of that. Coach, if you want to answer that, then you can follow it up on Nico, and then we'll go into this Nico conversation.
Sure. I think his body type naturally lends himself to the outside more. He's just built more naturally to play that position. Second, I don't know if you have played sports or did play sports, but whenever you're playing either, I don't care what it is, basketball, any kind of team sport, there's just some positions you can play other positions, but you feel more at home there, right? Something's just more natural about it. Or heck, it could even be sport to sport. Like, I loved football. I was a good football player. I worked my tail off at football, but baseball just came more naturally to me, right? I didn't have to work as hard at it. And I think that's kind of the case with Thornton. I think the position's just more naturally suited to him, and he feels more at home, more comfortable in that position. I think it's kind of that simple with him. I don't think it's necessarily an X's or O's thing. Look, he was open a lot of the times when he was not succeeding in the slot. He was dropping balls and just kind of not finishing the play. It wasn't like he wasn't in the right position. And being excited about Nico, yeah, I'm excited about Nico. What would I say? Some area that he could work on? You know, it's hard to say because we really haven't, seen too much of him there. But I think just generally his that ultra quick, everyone's favorite play, that little quick fake handoff jab out to the bubble screen. His footwork, I know when he first was running it in the spring, wasn't as clean. Last time we saw him run it, he threw an incomplete pass to Thornton in the slot on a bubble screen. Thornton just dropped it, but he did have better footwork on it. So I'd say he's going to continue to get better at those little things. And the longer he has in this system, and he's been in this system a good amount of time already, I'm excited to see what he can do with the ones, because that's a bad dude right there. And I believe him to be getting better day by day.
Wade No becomes a member of the channel. Shout out, Wade. Appreciate that, guys. You can hit that join button down below. For as little as $1, you can support what we're trying to build. That's the thing, man. Strength in numbers, trying to get to 25,000 subscribers. The more of you that join the channel, the more, man, it gives me a little comfort blanket. Boogie took a risk when I told corporate America where to go. Oh, my gosh. Best day of my life, telling corporate America where they could go so I could come on here and talk Tennessee football with you guys every single day. And it's all because of the members of the channel. So shout out, Wade. I appreciate that support. I encourage you guys, keep those memberships up to date throughout the offseason, right? It's easy during the season. Money is easy during the season. It's the long grind of the offseason. And, man, I encourage you guys, if you've never dipped your toe into the world of recruiting, do it this year. Start with me and Coach Jay. As soon as this season is over, we'll probably start covering it more in December, and then heading into January, we'll go full steam ahead into the class of 2025. You guys say, I don't know who these guys are. Guess what? We're going to educate you. We're going to tell you who they are. We're going to give you scouting reports, film breakdowns, where Tennessee's at in their recruitment. If you've never jumped into the world of recruiting, take a ride with me and Coach Jay this offseason. It's always fun. It's chaotic. It can be stressful. It can be emotional. Some people can't handle it. But I encourage you guys, come hang out, man. Looking forward to covering recruiting this offseason with Coach Jay. Timothy McGee for 5. Do you think Nico will go in the portal if he doesn't play this year? No. First of all, I've got 8 million reasons that will tell you why. But then also, why would he, man? He knows. Like, this was the picture-perfect scenario. And I get it. Joe has played really bad at times. He's played good at times. He's inconsistent. But the picture-perfect scenario is for Nico to sit and learn for a full year, ready or not. If he's ready to start right now, he's got a full year, really year and a half. Early enrollee. He took part in bowl practice last year. So it's going to be almost 2 years in the system going into this fall. So Nico knows that this is his football team moving forward. He ain't going anywhere, man. He is not going anywhere. We're going to come back to Nico because I remembered the question that I wanted to ask you. And it's talking about all these young guys, right? Nico, Cam Seldon, Ethan Davis, the DBs, the young linebackers, the offensive linemen. We all say it's valuable, man. You got to get live in-game reps. It's kind of like, we got to make better adjustments at halftime. Well, what adjustments? I have no idea because I just repeat what other people say. Well, we got to see live in-game action. Why? I don't know. It's what everybody else says, so I'll say it. What's the difference between live in-game action that you've got on film that you can, correctable mistakes that they'll go into the film room on Sunday and take a look at versus, hey, I can get the same thing in a fall scrimmage, spring scrimmage, practice. What's the difference? What makes in-game action so valuable to these young kids?
Speed of the game. You can't replicate the speed of the game. When you're in a live game in the SEC or just Division I, college football, it's so much faster than these kids were playing in their previous stop in high school. So everything's moving that much quicker. Not only that, even in big time, Division I, Division II, Division III, California high school football, you can run across monsters here and there, right? A big 6'5" lineman here and there, but for the most part, they're eating more like 6'2", 220, 240 across D line. So you're just dealing with monsters all over the field and fast monsters all over the field, right? Everyone's quick. Everyone's got a good 40 time. Everyone's got size. Everyone's got strength, and everyone is a lot smarter too. And they are making less mistakes, remarkably less mistakes than are made at the high school level. So you have to play that much more perfect, and you have to learn, especially from the quarterback position or and even in any other position. One of the things you always ask a kid at any level is, what did you see on that play, right? What did you see? What was your thought process on that play that led to that split second decision? How quickly did you make said decision, and why? And then being able to hack into their brain, show them the correct thing to do, and show them the where, the why, the how. All that kind of thing is valuable because you're not really able to digest it until you get to see it at that full speed, live in front of you, live bullets flying.
Timothy McGee comes back with another 5. It says Tony Basilio and John Adams saying he could go to the portal for more money. Consider the source there, man. Tony Basilio, I don't listen to him. I see a lot of the clips and headlines from him. He's a guy that will say anything to get you to tune in, right, wrong, or indifferent. He throws a lot of things at the wall to see if they will stick. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Nico's not going anywhere, man. If they're putting it out there, could Nico hit the portal? It's because they want you to click on it and see what they have to say. He's not going anywhere.
Nico's not going anywhere. Hey, listen, money is money, right? We all need money. We all like money. Money is good. But a little while back, I know I told you all to go watch it. I posted a couple different clips from Coach P videos talking about Nico, and I don't know if any of y'all had a chance to go watch that. But one of the things I really like about Nico, and one of the things Coach P talks about is, when he got the money, it just didn't really change him, right? He was still the same old Nico. He still had time for everyone. He still treated everyone the same. He's not a pre-Madonna. He's just not, which is, also why you could see a young kid sitting there. Well, I'm an $8 million quarterback. I should be on the field. I'm entitled. I should be given this. That's not who that kid is. Nico is very humble. He understands having to pay his dues. He's not going to complain if he steps on a power tee and does some push-ups and think he's above the law. He's going to say, yes, sir, I'm going to do some push-ups right now, sir. Do I need to go run a lap? He's just a good kid in that way, well-disciplined, comes from a brilliant family, and I think that's what attracts him to Tennessee. Yeah, the money's a big part of it, but I think the family, the culture is primarily why Nico's here. Nico is not going anywhere.
Well, let's keep the Nico conversation going, because that's the guy we all want to see, right? Everybody knows Nico's going to have an opportunity to play on Saturday. I've sold this big, beautiful story about my daughter and taking her to her first game and sentimental. And no, it's because I want to see Nico. That's the only reason we're going. Somebody clip that, and I'll get in trouble.
There you go.
Let's see. The Lazy Llamas for another 10. Appreciate that, brother. Thanks for what y'all do. Love this channel. Love my Vols family. Boogie, have a great time with your daughter. Got a little girl of my own. Get a bag of popcorn on me. God bless GBO. Well, thank you, Lazy Llamas. I appreciate that, brother. Appreciate that.
Go ahead. The only thing I don't like about eating popcorn at a game, though, or like an amusement park, it's salty, man. It makes you thirsty, and then you have to buy 20 drinks to hydrate, and the drinks are $10 million.
Well, yeah, but if you're eating salty popcorn and you need to hydrate, and then you chase it down with a beer, what good does that do?
Yeah, I guess none.
You're in trouble.
Right. Yeah,
Dude, I love that's extremely kind, Lazy Llamas, to say, to buy something for my daughter. Wayne dropped a 50 spot the other night and said the same thing. Said, I know the game, the concessions, the souvenirs aren't cheap. Wayne dropped a 50 spot just to say, man, go buy something for your daughter. Awesome. That's cool, man. That's appreciated. I'm grateful for that. So thank you, Lazy Llamas. But talking about Nico, the conversation with Kaner, He gave me the keys to the castle. He said, you're the coach. You can do whatever you want with Nico. What do you do? I don't get a sentence out, and he tells me, well, that's not, you can't do. And no. You gave me power. You gave me control. So I'm going to throw the same question to you. You're the coach on Saturday against Connecticut. You can do whatever you want with Nico, but one thing you got to keep in mind is all the decisions made up to this point were your decisions. So continuing to roll with Joe, right? You've given Nico limited chances. He didn't really get a chance. God, he didn't get any chances in those games. But here you are. Joe's still your starter. That's your decision. But you're rolling into the Connecticut game. You're at 6-2. You're favored by 35. What's your game plan with Nico?
I guess my game plan would be similar to yours. I think I'd roll him out at the start of the second quarter and let him get 2 series in. It would be my game plan. I don't know if I would do it just after the first 2. I think I'd let Joe keep his rhythm for a quarter, and then, in the first part of the second quarter, put him in for 2 series. But I will say this also. Joe Milton is kind of a streaky player, and the run game has been opening up things for him as a quarterback and helping him. And he's kind of new to this newer style that he's been playing with, right? So I kind of would be tempted to let Joe continue to build on this new tool that he has found. He is going to need to hone and sharpen that tool if we were to beat Missouri and to have a chance of beating Georgia. We're going to need him to continue to take steps with this new tool that he has in his tool bag. So maybe not what y'all expected to hear from Coach Jay this morning, but I think I would make sure Milton had plenty of time to hone that new weapon.
That's why I'm kind of like, man, I just want to see Nico early with the ones, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But I don't think they're going to run Joe on Saturday. I don't think they are. I think it'll be straight run game. I don't think he's going to keep any, maybe some scramble plays. I think they're going to be worried about keeping him healthy right before you roll into that Missouri game the following week.
Yeah, I would be tempted still to remind them that Joe can run. The reason I think it's helped him is because it just F's up your linebacker and your safeties when a quarterback can do that. And I want them paranoid that Joe is going to run for 80 yards and score a touchdown. I want them to abandon the tight ends in the middle. I want them to be cheating and peeking and then them getting burnt by Nimrod, flying down the field. I want all those things. So, would I make it a habit on Saturday? Probably not. But would I scare the crap out of them with a couple good runs? Yeah, I think I would. But
like kind of like the UTSA game, right? Very first play of the game, read option, he keeps it, house call. That's all you need. Just that one. One did everything. Moving forward. Man, there's a big football game coming up on Saturday that's Missouri and Georgia. I was listening to Josh Pate kind of break down that game. Georgia favored by 15.5. There's a lot of talk about Missouri, and people are starting to get mad at me because I'm starting to downplay Missouri. I am. And it concerns me because it's on the road. If that game's at home, I'm rolling Vols by 50, man. I just don't think – and I think Missouri is going to get exposed on Saturday. I think Georgia is going to beat the absolute brakes off of Missouri. Again, favored by a little more than 2 touchdowns. But you look at Missouri's schedule. You look at their schedule, and it's like, they're cool, man. They're 7-1. They're ranked 12th. They control their own destiny. Well, their own destiny includes going on the road to play Georgia, playing Tennessee, playing Florida, and then a pretty bad Arkansas team. That they could lose the next 3 weeks, but they've not beat anybody, man. The only 2 teams they beat are Kentucky and South Carolina. They lost to LSU, but then at South Dakota, win, MTSU, Memphis, Vanderbilt. Kansas State is a top 15 team that they beat, but who in the world has Kansas State played? They're 6-2, and they've not beat anybody worth it. They've not beat a ranked team. They've not even played a ranked team. I'm just not sold on Missouri. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe they hang 60 on Tennessee. They're throwing the football for like 300. What do you think about the matchup, Missouri-Georgia on Saturday?
It's an interesting matchup, I think, just because of the way it was played last year. I think Georgia is going to be coming out and trying to show that last year was kind of a fluke and they can handle Missouri. Is there another piece of that? Does Missouri's coach and does Missouri's system kind of have Kirby Smart's number, right? Sometimes you just you struggle against certain coaches, you struggle against certain schemes, you struggle against certain players. Does Missouri kind of have that magic? Are they Florida's Kentucky? You know what I mean? Like, are they that team that is going to cause Kirby Smart a little bit of trouble in his scheme? I think we'll find out. Obviously, I think Georgia to be the better team, and I think Missouri is a bit overhyped and hasn't proven it against the right players. They're going to need a couple breaks to go their way on Saturday, certainly. But I'm interested to see, was that a fluke, or was that something that is systemic of the style of play?
And Missouri, Eli Drinkwitz, I mean, that's a team that Josh Heupel's owned since he's been at Tennessee. So, again, I think it's Nelson there, Kentucky 2.0. Yeah, a lot of hype and just haven't really played anybody.
So say Missouri did beat them, right? Let's say they pulled the upset. Does that excite all the Tennessee fans? Or is Tennessee perked up like, hey, shoot, man, all we got to do is go beat Missouri and Georgia, and we're in? Is everyone fired up about that? How you all feel about that in the chat?
I don't know how I would feel about it if Missouri. I would laugh because Georgia would be taking an L. So look, I'm pulling for Missouri on Saturday. I hope they beat Georgia. I just don't know how I would feel about the next 2 weeks if that happened. But I think, oh my gosh, I don't know how I would respond to that. I really don't. But you look at again Missouri, Georgia, Tennessee, Florida. They got 3 losable games coming up. So we'll see. Interesting thing about Georgia, man, is you look at their schedule, and yes, they beat the brakes off of Florida last week, but that's an emotional game, right? That's a huge rivalry game, world's largest cocktail party. Well, I don't think they can call it that anymore, whatever they call it, but they took care of business. But still, that's an emotional game. Now you got to play Missouri, top 15 opponent. Then you got to play Ole Miss, top 10 opponent, all before you come to Neyland Stadium. So Georgia, even though going into the season, everybody kind of talks about, they got a weak schedule, they don't play anybody. Here we are towards the end of the road, and they got a pretty good little gauntlet here laid out ahead of them before they get to Tennessee. Meanwhile, for the Vols, you got a game and that's the thing about Missouri too. This is a game for Tennessee to get right, get healthy, glorified scrimmage, and that's why they need to take care of business, man. Keep those ones healthy rolling into next week. Missouri's going to be coming out of a dogfight, and then the following week, Georgia is going to be coming out of a gauntlet. I think this schedule sets up pretty dang good for Tennessee.
Yeah. Hey, we just got to go out there and win, right? It sounds so easy, but we're going to have to prove it, right? If Missouri did pull off the big win, it would probably take a lot out of them, but they would have a ton of belief when we played them, right? And we would have to go steal that away, go steal their soul in that game, which I believe we can do. As you mentioned, Heupel has had Missouri's number, so I think it's obtainable. But if they did pull it off, then yes, we'd have to go do that. If they lose, I still think that's a tough spot, and it takes a lot out of them, and we can go and get it. But then Georgia still has Ole Miss to go through, and then of course they have to go to Neyland. Neyland's a huge home field advantage. Joe's going to have to play good football in that game. Joe's going to have to put together the best game he's played all year if we're going to beat that Georgia team. Because I don't think the Kentucky showing or the Bama showing, albeit, good performances for Joe, I don't think those performances are enough to necessarily beat Georgia.
I think those performances beat everybody else left on the schedule. Not
agreed.
Georgia. Correct. Not Georgia. You got to do more to beat Georgia. You're going to have I don't think he has to go out there and throw for 350 and 4 touchdowns, but you got to do more than you've done the last 2 weeks. And you can't take sacks. You got to finish in the red zone. All those things that we've talked about. Yeah.
You got to be able to run. Yeah. You can't have a Bama performance on the ground. You got to have a Texas A&M performance on the ground if you're going to beat Georgia. So, offense line's got to get that together, and the defensive line has got to get home when we play Georgia. And you know what? I hate to say it because it drives me insane. And guys, our D line is getting held every which way till Tuesday. Don't care. It's football. Find a way to get done. I don't care if you got to tear off the offense lineman head. Get to the dang quarterback. Get it done.
And that's been the difference in the defense. Last week, that's the difference. We're all blaming the secondary. And in your favorite quote, two things can be true, but you're not getting home, and that's impacting your secondary. You got to play complementary football. The Lazy Llamas for 10 says, I wasn't thinking about dehydration, so get a soda too. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Lazy Llamas. You've almost sent enough now that I won't buy any popcorn, but I can probably buy myself a couple of beers. So I appreciate that, Lazy Llamas. I won't tell my daughter that you bought her some popcorn. What if she wants a brand new hoodie? What if she wants a brand new Nike? What if she wants a Joe Milton dark mode jersey? That's what, $200?
Yeah.
How much is that? How much did you pay for that? People were asking about Did you get a DM about that jersey? I can't remember who it was. You didn't?
I didn't. No, Miss J bought it though, so technically, I'd have to ask Miss J. Miss J, if you're in the chat, let everyone know how much you paid for that jersey, because I'm not positive, to be honest.
They're saying $175, but where did she get it?
Yeah, she said 175.
She's
Not
in the
sure
chat. She can tell us where she got it.
Somebody
Somebody asked me where did Coach J get that jersey? I have no idea, bro. I don't do his shopping for him.
Miss J, where's my jacket too?
All right. All right. I can shill for more UT Online store. All right, there you guys go.
There you go.
I don't think I can spend $175 on a Joe Milton jersey as a joke just to troll you for 3 more games of the season. But maybe I'll come home with a Nico Dark Mode jersey. So, Lazy Llamas, if you want to buy me a jersey, it's $175. If not, it's okay. Guys, we're towards the end of the show. Make sure if you have not yet, smash the thumbs up. We would appreciate that. Still hit share. It's not too late to let somebody know about this morning stream. They can come watch the rewatch. Don't forget, no post-game show, no tailgate show tomorrow. I will drop a game day video in the morning. So make sure you guys come check that out. And then we'll be back on Sunday. I'll be doing the day after video on Sunday morning. Fan call-in show Sunday night, morning stream with Kaner. Tuesday, we're moving the NCAA stream next week. Going to move it from Tuesday to Thursday. I've got some basketball stuff going on that I can't miss, so I got to be there Tuesday night to do some player evaluations. But then we'll make that up. We'll make up that Tuesday night on Thursday. Dakota for 5 says Jersey Fund. Hey, we're close. $170 away. You guys got about 4 minutes to raise $175 for the Jersey Fund. Shout out, Dakota. Appreciate the super chat, brother. Let's talk. We're 56 minutes in. Let's spend 3 minutes and 30 seconds talking about Connecticut. It's homecoming. They're going to be honoring the late, great Pat Summitt. They're going to be selling a stadium cup to raise money for Alzheimer's awareness. I'll probably pick one of those up. But it's Tennessee, Connecticut. What better game to honor Pat Summitt than freaking Connecticut? The stars have aligned. They're not a very good football team. Give us a little something. What do you think we see on Saturday? And then give us your official score prediction. Mine was 52-10. Good guys.
I think you're going to see this run game continue to just absolutely dominate. I don't know. Is Jalen Wright still a little banged up? I know he was a little banged up at the end of the
he was, but
game.
I think he'll play, and I don't know. I have no idea how bad it was because we're never going to know.
Yeah, that's true. It's hype, right? But either way, I think you're going to see continued success from this running back room, be it Small, Samson. I think you're going to see some Cam Seldon in there as well. I want to see some young guys go out and show out. I don't want to just see them go out there to get run. I want to see them go out there and make some plays. I think UConn is going to come out and struggle to stop the run. I think we can control the clock in that way, even though we don't usually control the clock. One thing I'd like to see from us is a couple interceptions in this game too. I think it would do wonders for our DB room after suffering some injuries to go ahead and pick the ball off a couple times. I'd like to see Brandon Turnage really have a good game in the secondary. That would be kind of my wish list. But I think Tennessee dominates this one. I've got Tennessee winning 55-14. Boogie, 55-14.
I like it. Nelson there calls it first 50 burger of the year. Not scored 50 points.
Yeah.
Not scored 50 points all year. So I think they hang 50 on Connecticut on Saturday as well. Negaval says, got to watch the walking horse. It is a tradition. Dude, I've seen the walking horse. I don't know what time they bring that horse out. I think it's pretty early. Have you heard the stories about – have you ever seen the Tennessee walking horse? They only do it, I think, homecoming.
I've seen it, but I haven't seen it, like, live,
Yeah.
So,
I've seen it,
I haven't
I think,
been to a homecoming
once.
game, so.
I think I've seen it once before, but have you heard the stories about Eric Berry and the walking horse?
No.
He is terrified of horses.
Oh, yeah, I do know he was scared of horses, but I didn't put the two.
Yeah, so there's
together.
like audio clips out there somewhere in the YouTube universe of him being like, "Get that effing horse away from me, man! Like, get that horse away from me, dude! I don't want to. You gonna get near a horse? Dude, that thing will kick your head off. I'm not getting near a horse.
I've been kicked in the leg by a horse. It hurt like heck. It hurt like heck, yeah. So don't get kicked by the walking horse, Boogie. And I guess you won't be out for 2 weeks. I don't know.
Yeah, can you imagine? I get down on the
I know,
field and get
right?
kicked by a horse. I don't know what time it comes out. So I got to figure that out because I want to be in the stadium to see that. Nelson said that clip of Eric Berry's on YouTube. So everybody that's here right now, go check that out. We're going to wrap this thing up, man. I appreciate you guys, the way you support this channel. It's amazing. I love this community. I love this family that we built here on the Talkin VAWLS Network. I appreciate you guys understanding that I'm taking the day off tomorrow to go down and take in the game. Again, I'll be at the Bradley Central game tonight, so if you're down there and you want to say hello, say hello. Don't be weird. Don't come sit down and be like, hey, I'm going to watch the whole game with Boogie. But feel free to come up, say hello. If you want to take a picture, we'll take a picture. Same thing on Saturday. If you see me at the Vol Walk, you see me walking around, you want to grab me, say, hey, man, let's grab a picture, whatever. You want to just say hello. If you want to just yell, Talkin VAWLS sucks, that'll be fine too. But you never know, man. All these people, I've been threatened. I've been told if I come to Knoxville to a game, I'm going to be taken to the river and whooped by a bunch of country boys. So we'll see if that happens or not. Regardless, I'm going to have a good time. All right, boys, we're out the door. For Coach Jay, my name's Boogie Bentley. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. Go Big Orange.
That we call